We'll call this meeting to order. Pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Well, thank you everyone for coming out this evening. We appreciate it. This meeting is a meeting of the Harrison Heights Board of Directors in public for the purpose of conducting the Homeowners Association's business. It is not to be considered a public community meeting. There will be time for public participation under other as indicated on the agenda. If you would like to speak, there is a form here. Please sign in. It's by Mr. Haggerty. Put your name and your unit owner and your unit, and we will call you up. All meetings are videotaped and uploaded onto YouTube channel, and if you'd like to subscribe to those, you can, so that they'll come in your inbox whenever they are uploaded automatically. Next, we're going to move on to new business. The first item on the new business is the First Midwest Bank resolution. I will read the resolution. We will need to approve this. Resolution of the Board of Directors of Harrison Heights, Inc. Whereas the Board of Directors Board has previously executed an association management agreement with Resource Management LLC, Resource Management, on or about October 11, 2018. And whereas the agreement required Resource Management to provide certain services to the board and act as a fiduciary for Harrison Heights, Inc. And whereas the board has determined that Resource Management has breached their fiduciary duty to Harrison Heights, Inc. and the agreement, and whereas the board has determined it is in the best interest of Harrison Heights, Inc. to terminate the agreement with Resource Management effective April 30th, 2019. Now therefore, the Board of Directors of Harrison Heights, Inc. does hereby and forthwith resolve to terminate the association management agreement with Resource Management LLC dated October 11, 2018, effective April 30th, 2019. The Board of Directors revokes all authority for Resource Management LLC to act as agent for Harrison Heights, Inc., effective April 30th, 2019. And further resolve that the authorized signatories to access Harrison Heights, Inc. bank accounts located at First Midwest Bank shall be Cheryl Prisco, President, Barbara Kraus, Secretary. And all other signatories shall be removed from said accounts. Adopted the 16th day of August, 2019. We will need a motion to approve the resolution.
I make a motion to approve the resolution for Midwest Bank and Resource Management.
Second,
I second it.
discussion. All those in favor, yea. Those
Yea.
opposed, nay.
No,
Thank you.
yeah.
Next, we also have a resolution that will also have to be approved. This resolution of the Board of Directors of Harrison Heights, Inc., whereas the Board of Directors Board has previously executed an association management agreement with Resource Management LLC, Resource Management, on and about October 11, 2018. And whereas the agreement required Resource Management to provide certain services to the board and act in a fiduciary duty for Harrison Heights, Inc. And whereas the board has determined that Resource Management has breached their fiduciary duty to Harrison Heights, Inc. and the agreement, and whereas the board has determined that Resource Management breached their fiduciary duty to Harrison Heights, Inc. Whereas the board has determined it is in the best interest of Harrison Heights, Inc. to terminate the agreement with Resource Management effective April 30th, 2019. Now therefore, the Board of Directors of Harrison Heights, Inc. does hereby and forthwith resolve to terminate the association management agreement with Resource Management LLC dated October 11, 2018, effective April 30th, 2019. The Board of Directors revokes all authority for Resource Management LLC to act as agent for Harrison Heights, Inc., effective April 30th, 2019, and further resolve that this authorized signatories to access Harrison Heights, Inc. bank accounts located at PNC Bank, account ending in 3883, shall be Cheryl Prisco, President, Barbara Cross, Secretary, and all other signatories shall be removed from said accounts. Adopted on the 25th day of August 2019. Do we have a motion to approve the resolution removing resource management from PNC Bank?
I move that we make a motion to approve the resolution for PNC Bank.
Second? Discussion? All those in favor, yea?
Yay.
Those opposed,
Thank you.
Sorry.
nay? We will get in later in the meeting why we had to do these resolutions with resource management to remove them as signatories from First Midwest Bank and from PNC Bank. Next item of business is the secretary report. Madam Kraus.
I sent the secretary report to the board of directors, and I'd like to have a motion to approve the meeting minutes for 6/27/19.
I'll motion to approve the minutes.
And second.
Discussion? Call the roll, or I'm sorry, all those in favor, yea?
Yay.
Yay.
Those opposed, nay?
Nay.
Motion
Sorry.
carries, thank you.
I'm just agreeable today. I'm
We
going.
got that one. Next, we're gonna move on to the treasurer's report. Jason?
Okay, so, sorry I didn't print this out, so I've got to read it off the screen. It's a little small. As of the end of July, the balance across all of our accounts was $219,509.72. That's $18,005 in checking, $92,004 in the money market, and $108,006 in the Century CD, with a $64 balance on the credit card. Let's see. Let me advance the slide. That puts, with $180,000 in reserves, that leaves us with $36,000 in $36,009 in the operating fund, and $2,000 in outstanding debts at the end of July. Here's the graph of our accounts for this fiscal year, including the end of last fiscal year's December here in the first column. I've rebalanced or recentered everything because I was originally told that our fiscal year started in September, but I read our bylaws and it starts on January with the calendar year. Here is our budget report for the year. We are slightly under on income, slightly over on expenses. Primarily, at the moment, its insurance is $5,000 of that overage on the expenses.
And that's because we paid for it in 1 year
Yes,
total.
as of December, we will be $4,000 under on insurance for the year, so it's only going to get better. We are $4,000 over on professional fees, mostly due to the $4,800 that Resource Management charged us. That is in dispute when we severed their contract. We are under on building maintenance, primarily on the clubhouse. Utilities are over. Water has gone up by $4,000 this year. Down here at the bottom is the contribution to reserves. I know there was some question last time about the 0.00 down there. That's the difference to the budget. The actual contribution was what I said before, 17,000, 18,000. Get the exact amount if anybody wants. And all that information is available on USB drives if anybody wants to take it for any reason. That's it for the treasurer's report.
Okay, do we have a motion to approve the treasurer's report?
I motion it to approve the treasurer's report.
Have a second, please. Discussion. All those in favor, yea?
Yay.
Those opposed, nay. Motion passed. And then did you have the year-to-date and past reserves done, Mr. Treasurer?
I can tell you what the year-to-date is, but I didn't prepare any.
That's okay. We'll just keep that. It's year-to-date.
Sorry. is not cooperating. That's the total. One second.
And so with those numbers, was that still showing that we were short $7,000 in assessments that were transferred from resource over to Watson, or was that rectified?
There's no exact details on what was or wasn't transferred. We are $6,000 short. We know about $3,000 of it from the current quarter.
Okay.
And I think that there might have been $8,000 that was also short the previous quarter that was tracked.
Mm-hmm.
So there's in the neighborhood of $2,000 that's unaccounted for.
So 2,000 invested.
All right. So as of the end of July, the contribution to reserves for the year has been $16,983.
And how much do we have to put in as opposed to the bylaws, sir?
We cannot put in more than $17,740.80.
How much do we have to put in before the annual meeting? Do we have left to put in?
None before the annual meeting. We're not due until October to put in.
Okay, so thank you, appreciate it. Next, we're gonna move on to the bank account analysis. Madam Secretary?
Okay. Harrison Heights Money Market opened 2/5/19 with $61,371.67. Earned interest has been $436.64 for 6 months. We have a new balance in the money market of $92,454.57. Checking account balance as of yesterday is $7,795.88. Our CD account was opened in February 8th of 2019. It has earned interest in the last 6 months of $1,323.91 for 6 months. I want you to note that the CD account has surpassed the $1,247.82 yearly earning in 2018 from our past money market. And we have made past the Hegwish Bank to this date, we are exceeding the whole year they had it by $77.19.
And how many months do we have versus
6
12
months.
So they had it for a year,
Right,
and we've only had it for 6 months, and
Right.
we've
exceeded it by $77.90, so. And the board opened the HOA's money market with a balance of $61,371.67. 6 months later, our balance is $92,454.57. The Harrison Heights HOA money market has increased by $31,082.92 in 6 months. And you'll see as we go through what we've done, how that happened. Any question?
Next, we're gonna move to approve, we will need a motion to approve the elevator bid. We did put out a bid for elevator. It was time, the contract had ended. They did want, the previous board had signed I believe it was a 3-year contract with a 90-day termination fee, which had auto renewal and auto increases built into the contract, which all vendors will do if you allow them to. So I told the management company, I just said, just from me being in business and doing contracts, a lot of times they don't look back to see what the original terms, see if we could just cancel early. They bid it, we got out of it sooner than the 90 days. So we did get a bid from the current elevator company, Condo, and Suburban. Suburban was less money. So we have, your board of directors have saved $1,800 a year on the elevator bill. Chicago elevator was $2,400 per year, and suburban elevator is $600 per year. We received 3 bids, and suburban elevator was the lowest bid. Watson said that they've used Suburban for many, many years, and like I said before, they've been in business for 35 years, have never had any problems with them. They suggested getting a bid from them. So we appreciate you allowing us to do our fiduciary duty and putting that out for bid. Your board of directors have saved you $1,800 a year on the elevator coming up. Do we have a motion to approve the Suburban elevator?
I make a motion to approve the suburban elevator contract.
Second,
I second.
discussion? All those in favor, yay?
Yay.
Those opposed, nay. Thank you, motion carried. Also, whenever I did look at the contract with Suburban Elevator, they also had an auto increase in there. And it wasn't a specific percentage, because if they can get by with not putting a specific percentage or a specific dollar amount, they will, so that they can just increase it to whatever they want. And a lot of times what vendors will do is they'll lowball coming in, so they get the contract, and then they'll increase it up to where they wanted it to be and where everybody else put into it. And we said as a board back to Watson, we will not go with this vendor with automatic increases. I get if they don't want to keep, the 3 years at the same price, but at least just do 2 years and then no automatic renewal for the contract. She came back and they said they were willing to do it with a constant price for 3 years and no auto renewal, and we'll readjust it and put it out for bid again. And if Suburban is the lowest in 3 years, hopefully whoever is on this board, they will do that same process and look at vendors in that light. So the same concept with the better judgment rule. Next, we're going to move on to the technology update. Mr. Treasurer, and I know you've been very busy with your job, and if you don't have anything, we understand, but if you do, we're listening.
No updates. I've even been slacking on putting up the social media changes. So.
Okay. Next, we're going to move on to signs. We do have a new sign that is on the door entry and exit of the mailroom. We did feel as though the one that was there, we could get something that looked a little bit better, possibly, and I think it does. We did remove the gunk that was on the window, so now we do have a caution step up and a caution step down, and as you can see there, there's a before and after pictures of that, so within $5.
Technically, it's an after and before, but I was not fighting with PowerPoint to get them on the right side.
That's perfect, so. As far as signs, I do believe that UPS, USPS, FedEx, and all Amazon are delivering more in the back. If we continue to see that they are dropping anything out front, we will just buy another sign, since it is a metal outdoor sign, the exact same sign that's posted on the entryway. We'll put it out there on a post when they drive through and hope that that does help. So that's something that we are still considering. Beautification, there is some pictures of the trees, we'll do that later. Obviously, it's getting towards the end of the season with the pool getting ready to be closed. We have been able to maintain that and keep it open. We are looking at sometime after Labor Day to do that. Documents from resource management to Watson. Watson is still trying to get documents and has not. Those documents that they have been trying to get, some of them we did a resolution today, are now part of the lawsuit. They need to, and so the last communication that Watson received from Resource Management is that we are under legal advice. Any or all information needs to go through their attorney, which these resolutions and the subpoena to get these documents are now. And if anybody would like to see that subpoena, it's about 6 pages. There's no way you can read it here. To get the documents that are ours, Harrison Heights, Inc., 56 unit owners, they're not specifically anybody else. So we'll discuss that a little bit later. Next, we're going to move on to the sent-to-your check refund of $922, check number 48. Barb?
Going through the check account that you know I have online approach to. I found a check written for air ductor for $9.92, which was in fact what we owed them. However, when I looked at the signature, I'd seen that Resource Management allowed one of their staff to sign that as a signatory. And I called the bank and they said, Barbara, that's fraud. They can't do it. And she sent me all the information on the signature cards. So I called out to the bank and I said to them, what do we do? And she said, well, if you want to go ahead, because they let it go through. It was cashed on a non-signatory. And I said, oh, do you do that often? And they said, that sometimes. I said, so that means that we came in and did all that paperwork and we had to do that to open these accounts. And you're telling me you allow people other than those 4 people to sign? And they said, well, it gets through. And I said, no. She said, well, if you want to go ahead and do legal business on this one, you have to go get a police report, which I did. Then I had to go in and sign, which I did. And about 2 months later, they were wishy-washy. Then the next thing I know, here we come and get that $992 check. That's okay, $992 check put back into our account. They refunded that money to us, so they're out the $992. We're ahead, but the bank now has to go after the person who put their signatory on it. At that point, as I can report, can I go right into this report, the AG report?
Sure, but I just want to
Okay,
say,
go ahead.
thank you for following through and watching that
You're
online
welcome.
and having a check and balance and knowing that, yes, there are certain people who
Sure.
only can sign a checking account. And we are not going to allow anybody who is not signatory to sign any checks, even if they're valid or not. That's just not how we do business. And that's not correct. So thank you. Thank you for following through.
We didn't even own that. I gotta come later. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead
Next, we'll
with
move on to
that in mind, because I also am very disappointed in Resource Management on what they promised us, what they said to us, and what they did not deliver to us. And it wasn't us, it was all of you. So, I wrote to the Attorney General of the state of Indiana. They wrote me back, send every amount of that information. Not only did they what's the word I'm looking for?
They not only wanted the legal documents, they
Yeah.
wanted other.
They wanted other things, but they also, with our money, they actually went against, with the water bill, they actually commingled our funds. And it's right there. And the point about it, when I went to the Attorney General and started writing her, she started telling me, give me more, give me more, give me everything you've got against Resource Management. And not only did I give her verbiage, but I gave her documents as in emails on what was going on. And she's also looking at collusion, because there were certain people in this building that met with Resource Management while they were actively working for us to get us fired. And they've got all of those documents, and they're looking into collusion also. So,
And we don't know what legal terms, we can just speculate.
well, that was
We
my
can just,
term.
yeah, that's
Sorry.
not, I don't think that's the correct term. And as far as
It was my
commingling in funds, we don't know. They are investigating it. They do have the documents they need. They have asked this board for additional documents. I believe there are over 200 and some pages that have went. We will update you. We think that that's pertinent, since that is out there now and it is public. That you know that we do not take lightly breach of contracts, not spending our money correctly, taking $180 in late fees out of our pocket to pay for the water bill for 3 months when we were going to be turned off that day, that we had no idea that they were not paying when that's in their contract to pay specifically our utilities and our water. And then also not to abide by their contract and then think that they can take $4,800 out of our account on the day that the attorney said you are no longer our management company. We are rescinding the contract. It's null and void to take that money out of our account. So that lawsuit is still going on. And also now with the Attorney General
General.
and the
She's
Senate
looking
here
at that
gave us
lawsuit
back our
right
money. So thank you once again. I know that
You're
you spent
welcome.
over a week and a half putting that all together, and that was a huge document. And by the way, you did a great job with that.
Thank you.
Thank you. We appreciate that. Next, we're gonna move on to lights. Oh, I'm sorry. Well, thank you. I did. Next, we'll back up into the AT&T bill. I know that we have said, discussed this before, but we need to approve this because this was something that we decided to do as a board, is to stay with this vendor. So we have saved $1,440 a year with the AT&T phone bill. Watson Management noticed when they took us over initially that our phone bill was extremely high. They see this all the time. They watch phone bills. They have numerous HOAs and buildings and everything else that they manage. We have two phone lines. We have a elevator phone line, and we also have the intercom phone line for our kiosk system. The old elevator bill was $65 a month for the phone line. Watson got that down to $60 with $5 a month savings. The intercom, the old bill was $175.17. Watson got that also down to $60. Our total old bill was $240.17. Our new bill is $60 and $60, which is $120. You take the $240 minus the $120 without the 17 cents, we're saving $120 a month just on phone. That's a savings of 12 months for $1,440 per year. So once again, thank you to Watson and thank you for allowing your board of directors to look at different vendors and to save, and we are going to keep AT&T, which is a great thing, because that would have been a little tough to switch everything over. If we had to do it, we would have, but we don't need to. So
Before we go on to
we're gonna need a
lights,
motion to approve to stay with AT&T for that $120 a month.
We need a motion to not change.
Well, we're entering into a new contract with them.
Then
So,
I'll move that we stay with AT&T.
Second.
there you go. All those in favor, yay?
Yay.
Those opposed, no? And thank you for noticing that we did not do the AT&T bill.
While you're talking about that, we touched on it. What I found in the condoassociation.com is verbiage that would fit into what just happened right now.
I think that would be better to come up later if you don't mind,
No, just
once
let me
we
know.
discuss the audit.
Oh, okay.
Yes, okay, thank you. Next, we're gonna move on to lights. Harrison Heights has a lot of lights. We all noticed that as board of directors and walked it with two management companies. Resource Management was the first one we walked it with. They said that it dates your place, and you're wasting electricity. Watson said the exact same thing. We have a lot of lights that are broken, leaning. At first, I was when my son was a maintenance man, I said, clean them, take out the glass, let's soak them in a 5-gallon container of bleach and water overnight. He says, Mom, seriously, I'll get cut. He says, they're so brittle, you can't even take them out. They are very inexpensive. We have looked at them to replace some. The problem that we are now having is everybody's aware that Barbara's husband is a retired union electrician, is that we have dawn to dusk, not a timer for our outside lights, we have dawn to dusk eyes. So we have an eye on the west side of the building for dawn, and we have an eye on the east side of the building for dusk. Something is wrong with those eyes. And I said,
He's gone down and looked at them.
get what part number, we're going to order them, and we are going to replace them, because they're just not functioning correctly. The other lights are on a timer, and you can switch those, and we get that this is a time of year where the time's changing a little bit, it's getting darker and earlier and all this good stuff. Dawn to dusk hours are changing. We're in the process of doing that. Just bear with us. But this is an issue. Once again, I want to reiterate, this clubhouse had 0 lights, 0. Outside, around the building for over a year. 0. My patio looked over this. This was dark. So we are analyzing lights and looking at them. We do know what they are LED. We get that they're not as expensive as what they were before. However, we are looking at the fact, do we as a board or we as homeowners, 56 unit owners, need to light up the sidewalk and the street of Munster? And if not, if we do, then they ought to. We did find that when we turned off some lights, you could see the building now, and getting rid of the trees and trimming those up and getting rid of the things up front. So that was one of the things that the police told us in the fire department for safety and security, clean up your property. Get your front entranceway without any obstruction. The same thing, with around here, that's why we took out some of the trees around the pool. You don't want obstruction anywhere, you want openness. We do have, I believe, 2 or 3, you guys walk the property, for the floodlights that face up to the building, and thank you both for adjusting those and facing them up as opposed to the first 5 bricks, so that does help. I did order today 3 bulbs, LED bulbs. They'll be coming in soon. We are going to, once it's not going to rain, take off all those covers and soak them in fresh water to get the yellow
I
out.
think we should get new ones.
They're tough to find.
Are they?
They're retrofit. Unless you know of any place where I can't find them.
All right, I'll work on it. How about the depot?
Or
Decker
Ace,
Electric.
Decker?
Decker Electric.
Where's that?
Was in Lansing.
No. There's a place in East Chicago that has every bulb.
No, it's not the bulb, it's the plastic
I know,
cover.
but they might have the covers.
Bulbs are cheap, they're less than $5 each.
Yeah, but I'm saying they have the fixtures.
Oh, the whole fixture, yeah, we can change out the fixture, that's not the
No, I'm
problem.
saying if they have a cover for the fixture like that,
Yeah,
so it fit, because those are pretty.
I move to
You're
put
right.
Bill Haggerty in charge of the committee to look at the lights on the building.
I second that. All in favor?
and all complaints will go to Mr. Haggerty with lights.
Did you see those big tree branches out there?
Yeah.
We took care of that.
They got rid of trees.
Did they pick them up?
No,
Not yet.
they
I look
will,
around.
they got a lot more.
All right, so I'll operate on this.
Alright,
If not, we can get a 5-gallon, we got 5-gallon buckets, a lot of bleach, a little bit of water, soak them overnight.
You have to say,
They're oxidized. They should clean up. I Googled it. We'll see. We'll see.
could you believe everything they do?
Because they're yellow from the light in the sun.
Yeah.
Oxidized.
Like their headlights in the car.
We'll try them. Let's try a couple. Can't root them. Can't look any worse than what they are. Not gonna hurt plastic with bleach.
With that being said, in repositioning the lights, it will really light up the front.
Well, that's what the police had said.
Light up your
You'll
building.
see
That's what
Do
the
not
police
light
said
the
keep.
perimeter so you can see
No.
your building.
Yeah.
The perimeter obscures
Here's what you can see.
the building.
Correct.
In which we know that when we walk or you drive up, it's the same thing.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it makes sense.
we
You know,
definitely need less than the 36 or whatever lights that we currently have, especially at $100 a piece to
Yeah.
Yeah,
replace
it's a
them.
lot better.
and make new look nice, brand new, and do,
It
dawn
looks a lot better
dust.
when you pull up front, you can see with bushes gone down, whatever you cut up it, you can really see the building,
You can.
seem like it.
And we did go to the law authorities before we even thought about doing anything with lights. Not that we were gonna do anything yet, but in our process, we went to the police department. They came out. They walked the property with us and they said, no, you don't need these lights for security reasons. That was all that they were there for, was just to tell us if it was a
Well,
security.
then light up the street and the parking lot. Or, I'm sorry, the street and the sidewalk, which is Munster, town of Munster's property. If
How,
they don't have enough street lights,
how much is the electricity a month on that?
you can Google how much it is for that
Probably like
wattage.
20 cents a light, it's not a lot.
Okay, I'm saying winter time. around.
But it's just replace, they all gotta be replaced, there's not one you can
Right.
keep, you don't even wanna paint them, they're too cheap to replace anyway. So that's it, parking lot lights, Barb, did you wanna give a little update on that,
He
please?
came, we had one go out again, and he was here
Boy
today.
Scouts out.
Well, no, when he came, he took the good light and put it in the bad light to see if it was the light or the light bulb. Since the light bulb came on, he said, oh, it's the bulb. Since he had it out and repositioned already, he went to the other light that he took the good light bulb out of and put one in. The old light bulb that got put in on the other side went out. They replaced that today.
So it made it look like the same one, and I was arguing with him, I'm like, listen, that's the same light bulb.
But it's the same side. It's just he switched the light bulbs.
And it is an LED light, and they do have to do a picker, cherry
Yeah,
picker.
they had to bring the cherry picker out.
So I think that's done. That took a while to order and.
Yes, yeah. Because they did come out, but they couldn't replace it because they don't carry it in stock. So we had to wait until they got it in. Today they called and said, we're here. I said, well, put it here. And they did.
Garbage, 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 and more garbage. Barb has been living and sleeping in garbage containers. She is a garbage police. Thank you, Barb.
I am the garbage police. And my mouth was not kind today when I saw the garbage yesterday.
So we had noticed on Sunday?
Sunday was when we took the garbage out.
Okay, so Monday.
Monday.
We had noticed, no, so Sunday it was
Sunday.
overflowing.
Oh, Sunday, it was still terrible, took over an hour
Yeah.
off the ground and yeah, it
Yeah.
was.
That's right, it was Sunday, because Monday
So-
they
But
weren't
we
here.
got it all to fit and went outside.
So,
Except
no,
for those
one else.
chicken legs or turkey legs all over the
So
floor.
we noticed Sunday that there was more garbage around the dumpster than inside, pretty much. And we're like, okay, what's going on? You know, so automatically, you know, you think, is somebody moving in and out? Which we know that's not happening because there's one unit that isn't sold, and we know that the other is closed. Do we just have more garbage all of a sudden? No. So there is an active unit that has, for months, literally months, been cleaning out, and they got months to go after me looking in there the other day, of debris, garbage, almost to the ceiling.
Yes.
So when you looked at the garbage that was laying around there, and you look at, we have some pictures there, there was actually old paint that was so old that they put into the garbage. That's a no-no, we all know that. We recycle painting today. They had actually charcoal bags, 2 charcoal bags that are white, were originally white, were no longer yellow, pretty much orange, and I don't know if the pictures show it. That is something that is old. That is something that we did not put in there. That is not garbage out of somebody's kitchen, bathroom, or bedrooms. And then also, some of the other items were maybe from the 40s. It was just on and on and on. And then the chairs where we said, don't put items there, were all full. So we've had the conversation with somebody about this
I had
twice.
it once, twice, 3, twice. My husband billed twice, telling them stop, stop. We told them what to do.
Barb and I went up. Those individuals decided to curse and yell. I said, get away. We're not gonna take this, you know? I said, you will not speak to us this way. So they told us that that is a dumpster and it is garbage, and they are allowed to put garbage in there, and they are allowed to fill that up, and yes, they are allowed to go around, and yes, they are allowed to leave garbage in front of their car. We said, no, you're not. That is not normal garbage. Go get junk, 1-800-GOT-JUNK or whatever it is, pay to have your unit removed, like everybody else does. Get a pickup truck. We will allow you to put a dumpster out here. I am redoing my unit 212. We were gonna put a dumpster here, and the reason why we didn't is because of exactly that, because it's an open dumpster, it's a huge yardage, and we knew exactly what would happen. It's sitting on my property on Harrison Street. We take it from our unit to that dumpster. We paid for it. I have not put one screw. in the dumpster, and I explained that to them. They proceeded to take some stuff out. They wouldn't take it all out because they said it fit. They took everything out that was around the dumpster, and then they moved it in front of their car. And we said, it's got to go. You cannot leave this here. It's flammable. They didn't even have a car large enough to even put there. So because of the fact that they admitted that yes, that was theirs, they did remove it, and they did. So they ended up putting it up above, which whatever goes up above is none of our business. Then they ended up taking a whole carload, and they told us in,
You forgot to tell me what they told you when you said you had to move it, and they said we'll be back Tuesday.
oh, well, yeah. But then they said, well, we're just gonna take carloads up to Munster over here. And I said, that's a recycle bin. That's recycles, that's not garbage. There's garbage there all the time. This is now Munster's problem.
These, unbelievable what we've gone through with you.
And then they said they will be back when this is empty on Tuesday and fill it up again.
That's exactly
I
what they
said,
said.
you will pay for it. So with that being said, we had, the board of directors, had Watson send a letter. Dear family and friends of whatever the name is, we won't use it here. We have had numerous complaints about the garbage and recycling containers being overfilled. The board informed you not to use these dumpsters for surplus garbage. They are only for day-to-day garbage. Due to the overfilling the containers, an additional pickup was required. The cost for the additional pickup must be passed on to you. The cost for the additional pickup is $200. Please remit payment to Harrison Heights Inc., 933 Calumet Avenue. If you need to remove surplus items, parentheses, furniture, boxes, old clothes, etc., it cannot go into the day-to-day garbage dumpsters. The board will allow you to place a dumpster in the parking lot in the back, no longer than 1 week, to dispose of your items. Sincerely, Board of Directors. So yes, you will pay. And I appreciated that if every owner would watch diligently and let us know if they do see anything like that. With that being said,
You're putting a lot of it down the chute too, you know.
they're clogging the chute.
Oh,
Right.
wow.
It's vicious.
Well, I went to push in the compactor yesterday, and it was,
Yeah.
I went to push, it was full, and it was just empty that day, they filled up, I got
They
back
not
to
only
the-
filled the garage, they filled up the dumpster out in the
the empty
driveway.
one going back in
Both
there.
of them. Well, that wasn't them.
No.
That was,
So
never mind, that was today.
Okay.
So here we are again. Now, we're take garbage back in, and thank you, Ray, for
Yes,
taking
thank you.
the garbage into the garage. This one, Harold has been doing the garbage. We went to go put this in, it's full. Before we can even put it back in, we need that empty switch.
Thursday.
The garage garbage is full and overfilled.
And it's got furniture in it.
So I went and looked with my cell phone late at night, just kind of looking around. Because anybody who did that much garbage, something had to be somewhere in front of their door, I'm sorry. Because you can't take that much garbage out with leaving something somewhere. So we found out who it was, and they did it again today. And they put something down there
Well, that's
today.
411 did that today. She 409 didn't.
No, I didn't say who.
Oh, I thought you said they did that again.
No, so they did it again today, which is a different day than yesterday.
But a different person.
Different.
It's the same thing.
I was in my unit and I heard the two in the dumpsters, you know, when those two things are open and they let them go, it's big. And I ran out and I said, who's in that
What
guy?
bangs?
And it was a gray pickup truck, two guys had just filled up that can out there. I had to go get my shoes on and at least do something. And I was not soon enough. However, today, I looked out and I go, Bill, it's the gray truck, get my shoes. I ran down there and I met him. He had left a towel to keep the drawer propped open because he didn't have a key with him. And so I caught him walking up the sidewalk. I said, were you here yesterday? And did you put things in that dumpster? He says, yes, we sure did. And I said, you can't do that. Well, don't talk to me, talk to the owner. I said, who's the owner? Well, he lives in the building. I said, who is the owner? Well, he lives up there somewhere. I said, who is the owner? And his phone rang, and he said, oh, this is the owner. I'll let you talk to him. So I said, who are you? He said, I don't know who he is. Never seen him, never heard his name. And I said, what unit? He told me. I said, stay right there, I'm coming up. So I came up, and this kid, whoever he was that dumped all the stuff out there, told the guy, she's giving me a lot of shit. Yeah, she's yelling at me. And I'm thinking, oh man, my hair is normally red, the roots were coming out red again. And I said, I walked and I got into the elevator, and he took me up to the unit, and the guy met us, and he was not nice. I've never seen him, he's the owner, but I've never seen him.
You went up there by yourself.
With the kid, yeah, I was hot, you know, I was hot. And I went up there and he came out, he said, hey, we can do anything we want to, I'm the owner, who are you? I said, I'm the board of directors. He said, big deal. And now I'm getting really mad, because I had to push that garbage out with Harold the night before, and I said, And I said, you can't do this. He says, where does it say anywhere that I can't do this? I can do anything I want to. And then I got a little bit more angry, and he started screaming at me. He said, show me this garbage. And I took him down. He says, yeah, that's our stuff. And I said, you can't put it in there. Well, it doesn't tell me anywhere up here with your notes that I can't use the garbage can. And I said, you should know better. He started screaming at me, and I started smiling. He says, you can quit smiling at me now. And I thought, I'll kill you in a minute. And so then I got on the elevator with him, and he called me a B word. He said the F word, and then I followed him back up to the floor. No, I followed and I got Cheryl, and she came with me. They were just as sweet as pie and her. And that's why Bill's not here, because when he heard what had happened to me, he got a little upset. So that's what we've been putting up with.
So I explained to them, once again, you cannot put somebody's moved out of your unit that used to rent it. Get a dumpster, get a truck, do whatever you need to do. You cannot overflow a thing, you will get charged for it. He told me that it is my fault, being a board of director, that it's not specific enough up there as a signage of what they can and can't put into it. And I said, sir, you got the rules when you moved in. Some lady said it's been too long. I said, the rules haven't changed with garbage. They still stay the same. You need to post those somewhere so you're reminded of them if you forget. So he understood. He was pleasant to me. I understand that he wasn't to you. The gentleman that was with him with the gray truck, who I think was just hired, was trying to get in, and he kept telling him, back away. You don't talk to them like that. So if we see them do it again, if we do that again, they will be charged. So
Well, they admitted they did it.
they all admit they did it, but
They admitted they
think
did
that they can get by with it and do
And
it.
they blamed us. If, you know, others,
There you go,
yeah,
policing
blamed us.
your neighbors, and you can smile all you want, but policing your neighbors. So next, we're gonna move on to tree trimming. Tree trimming, we did have Countryside come out and trim the trees. And that was something that we were in the process of doing. It was just everybody was so backed up with landscaping over the summer. You could see that they were trimmed. They tried to take some before and after pictures, which actually show. They did get all of the dead. There was a lot of dead in the Circle Drive, a huge amount of dead. I think some of those pictures showcase that. However, I did notice that they did not get the trees that actually hung over the, what would you call it? The portico. The portico? Okay. And which is in the gutters and just caused problems. So I did take pictures of those. Those are there. And also when we walked the property, I noticed that they did not get the 4 in the parking lot. I did let him know. He said, no problem. Thank you for the work. We'll be back. Don't worry about it. We'll get them. So that is going to happen. I do want to thank Bill and Harold for taking the big limb that did fall just recently up to the front for that to be removed also. So it does look nicer. You can see the property from all 4 corners easily now without this much trees and things around. So paint for the doors. my door on 212, with moving in and out, is going to need paint. My husband asked me, does the homeowners association have paint that we can use to paint it? And I said, no, but that's a good idea. It is. So we went and we looked, we have to match the pink, we're not gonna get flat, but the homeowners association is gonna purchase paint for anybody who wants to paint their doors, so we will do that.
And we talked about railings also.
For if people wanna paint their own railings, we can do that also.
Purchase the paint for them.
Yes. The annual meeting, everybody's aware that September is the annual meeting that is coming up. And we did look at meeting practices, best practices for how to conduct an annual meeting within our bylaw criteria. There was a letter that went out requesting individuals who wanted to be on the board to please provide a candidate bio and why you want to be on. I believe it's either going to be mailed, or if it hasn't been mailed, it's an election packet with proxies and ballots of who you want to vote for. Those will be sealed and be returned to Watson Management. This board of directors will not have one hand on any vote, nor will they count them, nor do we want to. There will also be one neutral third party who lives here, who will also be counting the ballots. Once they're open that evening, Watson will be everything sealed. They will not open up anything. With the neutral third party unit owner, the two of them will be counting the ballots during the meeting. Is there anything else that anybody wants to say about the annual meeting or the stuff that's went out?
But it's this time to talk about.
Yeah, but I
Yeah, I'm keeping on top of things. We're kind of like
We're getting there. Do you want me to highlight that for you? Could you?
Then I'll quit asking.
Okay. So we think that's the fairest way and the best way to run an election. That's what others have done, and that way nobody's got their hands in anything and have to take up the time during the meeting to be looking at, make sure we get enough individuals and counting votes and making sure
Yes,
signatures are.
those will be counted as the proxies, not the proxies, but the ballots
And
and the proxies will be counted
We have
as.
a full meeting that night,
So-
because
so-
not be a lot of business between now and then.
The way it works is with, this is called an annual meeting, but with any meeting where you have an election or you have to take the oath of office or any of that type of stuff, is that you do the election first because we are expired at that point.
So
And
it could be a short meeting, I could leave.
if anybody is elected, then those will come up.
You
We
plan
will
on-
reorganize, so that means that
Only hope.
that means that you will vote for president, vice president, and secretary, reorganization. After that's there, the gavel goes down, there is a meeting, business can be conducted at that point, okay? So any business that needs to be done can be conducted. We're gonna move on to old business. The emergency door on the outside has been painted, a little bit more needs to be done around the outside of the trim. There are some pictures of before and after, I'm mistaken if
I put it in the wrong order.
if you were able to find those. So it does look nice from the outside, it is with Rust-Oleum, like I said, a little bit of the trim still needs to be done, but that was something I think the before and after, you could see to the left probably, and to the right is, it's clean too, it was scrubbed, it wasn't just wiped, it was scrubbed. Elevator license, I don't think there was any report out on that,
No,
and
we're
just,
getting a new elevator company, maybe they can make it happen.
just an FYI, I still do not have mine, and it's outdated. Smart 911, we just want to keep that on old business, just to bring up once again, the lockbox is not for your keys and personal notes. Please fill out the 911 guard. It's something that most police and fire departments are doing around the country. Lake and Porter County both adopted that at their county councils. So please fill that out if you are taking any medication or if you need any help. And then once again, the board of directors and specifically Mrs. Kraus will help you fill that out if you need it. I don't think there's any report out on the repurposed tennis court with your committee, and that's that's something that would probably be a real project anyway. First floor washer leak, Barb, if you wanna go ahead and report out on that.
We have called out the washer people, 5 or 6 times, and they couldn't find anything, and it kept leaking. So I talked to Watson, and Watson and I agreed it's time that we get a new washer. And she called up the washing machine contract people, and they are gonna be delivering a new washer in the next 6 to 8 weeks.
Well, the company started to say, and how about your plumbing? And I said, no, we're not going there. We don't have a problem with our plumbing. We're not even looking at bringing anybody out to reroute it. That wash machine walks off the wall. And we replace it. It's under warranty. We want a new one. And that's exactly what we're getting. The shingles and caulk, I know that that's still out there. I know he's very busy, but do you have any report on that, sir?
After they get it fixed, yeah.
Okay. And it's a busy time for everybody when it comes to
He
that.
will not, the ones up here, he said he's not gonna, that's
No,
scary.
and I get it. So how about the rust on the stairs? Harold, I know that you're working on that.
I
and it's-
straight, so.
Yeah, and it is,
90% lost, but not all the way,
so you're gonna
either
continue.
one more time or vice
work.
versa. I didn't wanna use it because it could take the top layer off.
I think it's gonna work, because it's working,
Yeah, okay,
So
it looks a lot
appreciate
better.
yes, so thank you.
So it
for
doesn't
that
go into
project.
the flower.
I know, I just a little bit, yeah, and I don't wash it off because
But
it's
that's
wow.
putting up
Take a time to wipe it up.
And something I forgot to mention with the landscaping, they did come out and remove the stumps. They did. Of all the big trees, so those are removed, and I was watching them, they take a machine and we actually put on it and it disintegrates it.
Mix mulch up.
Mulch, oh my goodness, yes, so I forgot to say that. The garbage, even though we do have the new contract with the garbage, we had noticed that the garbage time crept back up earlier. That was something that I know Watson was talking to them about. I did call the individual and I said, listen, this is a commercial account, this is a residential property. When you back up here, you beat all the way out. And I'm there. So he was trying to tell me logistics and all this stuff. I said, listen, I don't care. I do know that president over here, the president of Stone Ridge, and the president over here, we will all get together and write a letter that this is residential. So they went to the logistics, they did agree that they would not come before 7. I've been noticing they're coming at 7:30, 7 something. We're still working on maybe getting it a little bit later. We'd like to have it after 8 if possible, but it is something that your board of directors did work on. And then I don't know if you noticed, we do have, that is up for the garbage.
No.
So anytime you switch garbage vendors, if you go to somebody else with a contract, it's automatically a swap out to new containers. If you keep the same vendor, that's not included, that's a fee. I've had waste management for over 20 years in one of my businesses. However, I only keep 2-year contracts with them. Every 2 years, they swap out the containers for no charge, or I'm not signing the contract, and they know that. So I told them, I said, part of us staying with you, and thank you for decreasing the price the way you did, and they also kept that with 3 years with no automatic increase either, which is nice for the garbage, is that we want the containers cleaned, the wheels replaced. It's just too tough to push out. And painted. And they did power wash them, and they did switch out the wheels, and they did take one at a time here, and they look nice, and I think you could see them, and their logo looks nice. It's their containers, so they did, and they were smelling, and that's just what happens with garbage containers if they're never clean, and that is a charge for them to take them and power wash them or to switch them out. That is a charge that was not included in the contract. That would have been a charge. So we did get that for no charge, and they do look nice. So we hope you see that also. AT&T spaghetti mess.
I guess it's not Comcast. Sorry, I got the picture before I got the agenda.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, Comcast. It is Comcast.
Oh, okay.
It is, but it's mostly Comcast. I'm sorry. My part. My fault. And I'm the one who called them out because my internet. So at one time I was down there with, I noticed Comcast was down there with a unit owner, and I asked him, I said, what can we do to get this cleaned up? He said, give me your number. I'm gonna get ahold of my supervisor, we'll get this cleaned up, and then he'll contact you to come out. As I was walking away, the unit owner said, you don't have to bother with her, she's not gonna be on the board long, don't. I said, excuse me, I am the president. Well, that didn't happen. So when I called out, I said, listen, what do we need to do to get this, it's just, it makes me worried that somebody, because it's the way it's hanging, is just gonna go grab stuff, kids or something. So, we are in the process, and now we have given that to Watson to get somebody out there to fix that. It's their property, even though it's cables, but they need to do something with that, it just doesn't look good in the garage. So that's something that will stay on old business until it's rectified. Next, we're going to, bids on windows is another thing that we are looking at. We're getting close to getting them all in. This board is excited about having the money to be able to replace some windows. We do know that we are limited by our bylaws to spend $5,000. Obviously, windows are going to be more expensive at $5,000. We are looking at getting commercial grade, not residential grade windows, whenever we do put it in any of the common areas. So we are aware of the fact that if we do have to have a special vote, that we would like to do that, because we're also aware of the fact that if we have extra money going in, that it'll automatically go into the reserves too. So, and I think everybody's in agreement that we just need to replace some windows in our building and get that, and it's gonna be an energy saving also. So we are still in the process, we got one today of looking at that. Watson sent one today. Next, we'd like to move on to year-to-date savings. What has your board of directors saved for you? And I know, Jason, that was too late to get that up there, and I apologize about that. So do you have one for everybody, Barb? Did you do one? Okay. I
Everybody
apologize.
might have one.
Very sure.
I got this one, the
We'll
old one
let,
that I got from her.
Okay. Oh, you got one? Yeah, she's got them, yeah. So the year-to-date savings, what has this board of directors saved for you by renegotiating contracts? The first one was with Roberto versus Constant Clean. That was $1,308 a month being saved. So far, we're 7 months in. That's $9,156 we've saved with that. The snow remover winter, that's subjective. We do not have a number with that. And even if we do, we will compare it. However, once again, weather is so subjective that it won't be an accurate comparison. However, the summer, the landscaping is. And so that is a savings of $4,237 just to mow the lawn and trim and weed and all that good stuff that goes in with every landscaping bid for summer. And we also did get grubs treatment twice a year that we did not have with Great Lakes. We made sure that grubs was included in it, and you can see that it is getting better. And it did say it'd take a couple of years for the grubs to really, the treatment to, because it was let go for so long. The management company, we've saved so far for 4 months, $784 just by switching over from resource management to Watson. The CD transfer, the percentage of interest that we've saved above and beyond what the past board was getting, since we've transferred it over, is $1,323.91. Right. Jason, can we get this up before it goes up to the YouTube? These documents, I gave them to you. Do you mind?
Where?
On the PowerPoint before you put it up on YouTube?
The
There's only
PowerPoint
3.
itself doesn't go into the YouTube. I can't really edit it in.
You won't be able to put it in? No, okay, that's fine.
If the board would like to purchase me video editing software, perhaps, but on the free utility that we are currently using, no.
Put that on your wish list for the strategic plan. How's that? Just Santa Claus. He does it.
Christmas.
Along with the wish list of the tiki bar. So the money market, we've saved $436.64. The Costco Visa, once again, we do get cash rewards back. That is something that the Visa card tracks for us on a monthly basis. We are getting a $234 check and 59 cents. Also, anything that we purchase through Costco themselves, which they do not keep track of, but will pop up and you'll get a check from that too, and we'll let you know what that is, because that is a savings also, besides the Visa.
And we decided when we were going to get those rewards, because they don't actually appear in our accounts until we cash them in.
Year to year, so
Okay.
we've been.
Oh, it's automatically at the end of the year.
At the end of the year.
Okay.
I think it was February.
So if you have paperless billing, you'll get a paper statement and a
Okay.
check will be
I
on
thought it was like my bank where you actually just have to cash in the points and say, I want my check now.
there. They're
Okay.
keeping that getting interest on it.
Okay.
So in the insurance per year, we save $10,130.87. The garbage per year, we've saved $2,437.44. The AT&T bill, we've discussed, is $1,440 a year. The elevator is $1,800 a year, and we're not done.
No, we're not.
So, but that was a lot for this year because we were being pulled in different directions and sometimes we weren't able to focus where we needed to. So a total that this board of directors has done year to date since we've been on is $31,981.25. We've saved you in just renegotiating.
I applaud
Oh,
That was a lot of sweat,
I
you
don't
know?
manage my money.
And that's
God.
renegotiating contracts, hiring a Harrison Heights maintenance and custodial person, and getting Harrison Heights Homeowners Association visa to purchase our own supplies so that we weren't paying third-party fees that would increase. And we feel as though we did fulfill our board goal number one by being fiduciaries who steer the homeowners association towards a sustainable future by adopting sound, ethical and legal governance and financial management policies, as well as by making sure that the homeowners association of Harrison Heights has adequate resources to advance and to thrive. And that's what's important, is to be able to give back. You need to see a return on your investment, and that's not to say that you have not, but you need to know that somebody really has an eye on every aspect of your fees. The white brick, that is something that we are going to be working on now before the fall gets here, of putting that solution on. We still do have it. Costco has a unlimited return policy. We can return that whenever we want if it does not work.
Have we gotten a quote to have it professionally cleaned if it doesn't, if we are unable to?
My husband talked to the bricklayers BA. Yeah. And we do have companies if we, there'll be supplies with companies if we need to. He even asked
I'm hopeful, but I just want to make sure that we've got a plan B.
if the apprenticeship program can come out and try. But yeah, there is a plan B.
Okay.
And they're the experts. They do this. You know, this is their expertise. It's not ours. So we're still trying. Announcement, if you want to talk about your misplaced keys.
Oh, back when I was digging holes and actually putting in shrubs to make the outside look good and pretty, I lost my whole set of keys to the building, to my car, to my house, everything. We searched high and low. And a couple months later, I said, must be just lost, but they weren't. While we were having a party in here last week, someone who only could have gotten into the lock board if they had my keys, because I was the only one and Cheryl was the only one. Cheryl had her keys, so while we were in here enjoying ourselves, someone went into the lock board, opened it, pulled off some paper, shut it, locked it. Somebody in this building has my set of keys and they're not returning them. And that is the truth.
Well, we hope you get them back.
I do too. They're important to me. Those are all my keys. They're my
I
property.
would fish that.
So the owner's social gathering, and now that I think about it, we should have taken some pictures. It
We
was
should have. I thought the same.
Really?
Great for the social media. Alas.
Here.
You could have put it up. Yeah, it was wonderful. We thought we
We
had a
had
great crowd.
Good times.
So much food. We were able to take food up to those who couldn't come down. The gentleman grilled Barb and I kind of set up, and then everybody helped clean up, and
It was
we
great.
appreciate everybody, the board of directors'
Harold
time that they
Bill
did, everybody helped.
Jason helped, and you guys, if you weren't here, you would have had fun. God, we had a great time.
A good time, and it was good, and it was good to sit down and be able to personally ask us questions
Yeah.
and explain things, and we spread ourselves out, we moved around different tables that we were
That's right.
available, a comfort level, maybe with one and not the other. So it worked out, and it was nice, and we
It
look
was
forward
nice.
to doing that next year too,
We
so.
had some pretty good beer too.
Yeah.
We had good food though. Whoa, that food was
Food was
delicious.
So some shout outs, we'd like to say, thank you to Jason and Nardi and, 212 for, purchasing and donating the pool clock, which has a humidity and temperature. And, we have a wonderful picture
And
of
he put
that
it up too.
and he did put it up for us, yes. That was something that was important to him, and he said, you know what, I'm gonna buy it. I said, thank you. Harold and Bill for cleaning out the pool room. That pool room had not been cleaned out in years, literally. So if you wanna take a look at it, there are some before and after pictures. There's some things in there that were even hazardous that should not have been in there. So thank you, gentlemen, for doing that. We appreciate it. It's easier to get in there. It's easier to move around. We got stuff that was years and years, it became an accumulation, so it's.
It's good for the pool people too, so they
They can, I don't blame them, yeah.
can do their work.
And we want to thank Ray and Phyllis for taking out the recycles by the mailroom. We really do appreciate that. Harold, Jason, and Cheryl for checking the pool levels and adding chemicals. We've been continuing to do that, so thank you. I know Harold, you've been checking it every morning. Mark and Cheryl donated the power washer, the blower. They're still kind of going back and forth. We don't mind, as needed, you can use it. Bill Haggerty picking up sticks. Watering flowers, I've seen you do that. And putting down weed preventer.
How about washing the whole front?
Oh, yes, you did do that too. I got that down there. Barb and Cheryl for trying to maintain the flowers and deadheading and,
But they're so
Keep it up.
pretty.
but I think I found out the mystery of the three pool flowers. Couldn't figure it out. Identical flowers, identical dirt, and identical planters. And why these three, which not much difference of sun or shade, would die. I was sitting on the patio, my husband was down here with my little grandson, and I said, Theodore, what are you doing? He says, I'm watering your flowers, Grandma. And I'm like, I don't know, but I think the chlorine killed them, because I went out and bought a whole bunch of things from Five and Below at the dollar store, and I happened to buy a watering can that's sitting there, and I think he's not the only one, and I got a feeling the watering can won't be there next year, so. I don't know if that's it, but it has to be something, because I've even tried to take the dead out and replant and grow, so.
I don't know if anybody noticed, but it was bugging me. One of the flags was broken on the golf course. I reprinted the broken part. It's,
Oh, shout out to Jason, thank you.
There's been several times kids.
yeah, well, it doesn't surprise me, but
And their parents and,
yeah.
watching them putt.
Oh, I'm glad it's getting some use.
Correct.
Yeah.
You.
We're gonna move on to the audit report, Barb's excited to
You
talk
forgot
about
all
that.
about
I
that.
know, I did. It was a request of this board of directors that it was in our bylaws that we audit. I checked into it, the cost of it is very expensive. It was anywhere from $1,500 all the way up to $2,000 to do that. Yes, it was in the bylaws. I talked to previous board of directors. Did you do it? No. Obviously, there was a different threshold that this board of directors has had to meet for the whole year that others did not. So we took into account the cost. We took into account the fact of some of the things that Jason has been doing. We thought, you know what, if we're gonna audit, we're gonna go back. And we went back 2013. With that being said, that audit should be finished. We did approve that a couple months ago. McMahon and Associates, accounting firm in Munster, Indiana, is completing that audit. They do have a whole team of HOA accountants that do nothing but specifically audit HOAs. They requested some documents that we did not have, which we should have, because any board of directors should know that those documents need to be kept. It's not the management company's responsibility to keep documents. It's the board of directors' responsibility. We own them. They do not. They're ours. We do not have these documents. We were told numerous times, go look here, go look there, go. We got tired of going and look. We got tired of picking up boxes. So we gave everything we had, tried to get everything we could from resource management to complete a 5-year audit. There were some bank statements that were missing from PNC and Midwest. I contacted PNC. They said they don't do anything. It is, you have to snail mail the accounts. It's $5 per statement, prepaid check. Send it off to this address. They'll mail them back. I said, mail them to Watson. I do not want to touch bank statements. Then they finally got back to us that they are not giving us anything because we're not signatories. Barb then tried with Midwest, and
Well, they started out with come in and bring, but you're a board member, that you've got the board minutes and that, you know.
you're elected.
And so I came in and they said they'd get it for me and they wouldn't give it to me. They said that I was going to have to go back to the signatory. And I said, she's not even a board member anymore. They said, well, if she won't sign off on it, we're not gonna give it to you either. Guess what? Ken Elwood, HOA's attorney.
Well, before that, we asked who's the signatory, because obviously we need to know. I mean, there
Oh,
always
yeah.
should be more than one.
Yeah.
Never one person should ever be signatory as a board member or management company or anything. So, that they have,
You're right. They went back and I said, but the account was opened by PPNW in their name on behalf of us, which means none of us could look at that bank account.
so let me ask you a question, Barb. Was there a owner or board of director
No.
who owned that account as signatory? Shocked us.
No.
Shocked us.
We had nothing.
We did not own that account, even though it was your money. No board of director was signatory, was not on that account, just the management company, which is an absolute no-no. So, go ahead.
So then, well, I came back because we had to wait for a manager and I came back. She wasn't in. Then she called me, she says, no, we're not gonna do anything for you. You're not on the account. I said, but I am on the board of directors and I am doing this for 56 units. No, we have to have the person that's on the account. She told me I needed to ask permission from PPNW and send them a letter with my signature, asking them to please give me our bank statements. And Cheryl called Ken,
The attorney.
the attorney, and he
I said,
said,
we're done.
absolutely.
I said, get it in writing what we need to do. Get it in writing what we need to do for the bank first. And we did. And I sent it to Ken, and Ken said, do you wanna watch? So, they are our statements. They're all of our statements. They're not just the board of directors' statements. That's our money. That's your past money. That's my HOA fee money.
Well, nobody was watching your checking accounts. Nobody. Nobody knew what PPNW was writing or not. I mean, we got something from your accountant, but we had no idea because they owned it and it was for their eyes only. They
So,
did
The
say,
past
that
treasurer was not
Mary Daly-
signatory. Are you sure she was not signatory?
no, absolutely not. She wasn't on the account, but they allowed her to have the bank statement so she could go through it monthly.
And we do not want bank statements from a third party. We want bank statements from the bank at this point.
And
We don't want bank statements from anybody but a bank.
That
Not
was
a
our
management
bank,
company, not a unit owner,
that was our
nobody.
checking account. And that's what Mary would send them $12,000 a month,
To pay bills. To write checks.
but it wasn't in our name. So our money
It wasn't
didn't
an
belong.
HHE.
No.
So I said, you know, we have a business entity, you have a business entity, you own a business, it's an incorporation. There is a form that you have through the state of Indiana that keeps up Harrison Height Inc. It's like a $15 charge you have to every year, it might be 2 years, I can't remember, where you redo it. So when we first started this with resource management and denying them access to Centier Bank, we wanted to immediately sever the contract, deny them access to Centier Bank so they could no longer write checks.
Right.
Centier Bank said you cannot do that, you have to bring in the business entity. I looked it up, it's a public document. Resource management, which did not tell us and it was not in their contract, became our agents on the business entity. And then there was past board members on there from years ago that nobody kept up with that. It is changed. Barb and I, secretary and president on your business entity, and the attorney, which I think is a great idea. Oversee should be the agent. So we had to change that document, bring that document to Centier Bank before they would close the account on resource management. That business entity document was not enough for either one of these banks to give us. This is something that I don't understand from a legal perspective. There's boards all around, whether or not it's corporate boards, privately owned, for-profit, non-for-profit, HOAs. Board members passed away. They were signatory, no longer can be. What happens then? Doesn't make sense, does it? So we had to subpoena these records because what had happened then, and this is why we did the resolution, because it eventually ended up that resource management owned the money because they had to be signatory to get it to get it transferred to them. And now they're responsible for those records and to keep those many years since they got the money. And now it's in their hand to produce those documents. So
And they're not gonna do it.
well, it's up to them, but they can do whatever they wanna do, or they can say they're not gonna do it. But we were hoping this audit would be complete, and we would have been able to bring you an update. If it does get done before the annual meeting, we would like to have a special meeting. We just think that it's that important that everybody is aware of the results of the audit. And once again, we're not only auditing ourselves, which we think is very important to do, we're auditing past board members too, because we think they did not do it either. We felt as though you want to hold us to a different standard, we're gonna hold everybody to that same standard of care. Does anybody on the board have anything else? Oh, I'm sorry, yes, there it is. Give you your opportunity. And if you wanna explain this organization and how you pay and
Yeah, I belong to a couple of organizations. When I got on the board, I am paying to be on organizations that have attorneys, that have CPAs, that have people you can talk to, that actually have done these things for years and years and years and gives advice and guidance.
so they're homeowners association organizations
Right.
that are professional organizations. So they produce webinars, they have in-services and,
Yes.
you can get best practice, leading practices documents. They are not a state specific. You can put in your state and get your state. They are not specifically out of Florida or California, which we all know where most of the HOAs are. They are United States board, so. And I think that if I am on the board, that I'd like to request that the homeowners association pay for that. It's that important as opposed to
Well,
you paying for it.
I mean, it's pretty
not.
rough going to, I
But we
decided to do it
utilize
on
that a
myself,
lot.
so I would be the best I could be for you. So
And we
I
got-
do pay for this.
We got our documents, most of our
Yep.
documents for the election in the process of doing it, from the best practice from this organization or a couple of them.
This is condoassociation.com. If you wanna look it up and see how credible they are, you're gonna find out it was phenomenal. but it had a blurb on it with regards to audits. Well, it attracted my eye.
And you get emails or weekly, because you
I
pass things on to
I
us, you know, she fields through them or whatever and passes on what she thinks is pertinent to us, so I appreciate that.
And so this particular verbiage came from a gentleman named Larry. And by the way, of background, he is a CPA, has been a CFO for several publicly traded companies. I also have more than 10 years' experience as an HOA treasurer. In my opinion, a financial audit is a waste of time and money, and here is my reasons. People have misconceptions as to the purpose of an audit. It is to express an opinion that the financial statements are present in accordance with accepted accounting principles, GAAP. Audit procedures are not designed to find out if there's fraud or mismanagement, which is what concerns most owners. The difference is that the poster mentioned are mostly likely non-cash items and have no meaning or value to the sound financial practices of a well-run HOA. An audit is not designed to detect what is most important to owners. One, are services being performed as detailed in the contract? That means our responsibility was to look at those contracts and see if our providers were actually doing their job and earning the money we paid, or were they kind of taking advantage of us?
And we did sever those into
Yeah, we did.
and we had no problem doing it. If they didn't abide by the contract that previous board orders thought was important to have in there, and that they passed at this table and they signed that document, we abided by what you did.
Yeah.
Or you wanted to be done.
Number two, is the HOA paying a fair price for these services? We went through every one of our vendors' contract to find out what they were charging, what was their hourly rate, what was they getting for manpower versus what they were paying in supplies. And we really do take our job seriously. Our vendors now know that they don't get away with anything and take our money. And as I said, you find out later on how we managed to save $31,000 above and beyond. And three, are there kickbacks being paid to the primary management company and or the board? Example, in my HOA, I discovered that our sanitation company was charging us for 4 pickups per week when in fact, they only picked up 3 times. Clearly, this was a waste of our money, but the auditor would not know or care about that. She wasn't looking at that, or he. They were looking at, are we following the best practices for the GAAP, GAAP. They aren't looking to find out if our guy's out here 4 or 3 times, and it isn't their job. That isn't what they're there for. In my opinion, the cash basis of presentation is much more relevant to an HOA than the accrual basis. Our HOA pays our monthly insurance premium on the last day of the month. It makes no difference to me if they pay it on the first day of the month. It is recorded in January expenses versus February expense. Instead of having an audit performed, concerned owners should perform their own operational efficiency audit to determine if you are receiving the services for which you have paid, which we bring to you every month. And whether or not you are receiving competitive prices for those services. Cheryl is a stickler, 3 bids, not 2, not 1, 3 bids, at least.
We got more than that with those.
Yeah, we have. But the point of the matter is when we bring someone in, we have not only looked at what they're doing, we have vetted them from the people. We bring in people that have been known what they do. We work pretty hard for this. That's how your HOA will save money. Are we receiving competitive prices for services that we are getting vendors for? And you will see as the new budget approaches that we did our job.
I think with that being said, that's why we didn't do the audit that was specifically stated in the bylaws. We went above and beyond that to look more in depth. than the one audit. We wanted more, somebody who specializes in this to look back for years past, not just one, and to analyze all of this, so. With that being said, with windows, we do understand that the cheapest bid, it's not like your AT&T, your garbage, where it's all gonna be the exact same thing, or your phone, that's not changing. We do understand with windows, the cheapest is not going to possibly be the best. So we are looking at grade, we're looking at thickness, we're looking at commercial versus, residential. We know that if it's the same window in our unit, that's a residential unit. I doubt if anybody has commercial.
And it won't last as long as.
Well, it's just not as efficient,
Not
and we
efficient.
understand that it's more expensive up front, but it'll save us more money in the long run, and the warranties are greater also. So those are all things that your board of directors are looking at. So thank you for looking that up. It just so happened that that popped up in your email
It
right
did.
at the same time when this is gonna be on the agenda, so we appreciate it. Once again, if you want communication via email, please sign up, so you can be kept up to date. You won't have to read documents, as they're posted. Please respect us. We are only board members when the gavel goes down and we have a quorum. We're busy. It's not our job to be sniffing polices for odors. If you think there's an odor in your hallway that you don't like, knock on the door and figure out what it is. Don't bother us, because I'm not going sniffing no odors. I'm not doing it. Don't do it. I have things that smell too. I have an ethnic group on my, but the food is phenomenal, but sometimes that lingers, but I know it's gonna go away. And, I don't cook like I used to, but I'm not gonna be knocking on anybody's door and asking what's coming, where the odor's coming from. We have no police powers. And I'm not gonna do that, knock on somebody's door.
And I'd like to get off garbage duty if you guys don't mind.
I think this letter going out will
I
say
hope
what's.
so.
Well,
Because we
the
got
word will go
one
around pretty
pretty
fast.
mind.
That word will go
Looking
around
at us
pretty
and
fast.
saying, slapping our hands, why are you letting this happen? I don't know, I just thought it'd be fun to see the garbage can overflow.
So the committees, we're still working on that, we just need help. That's something that, we talked about when we had the, social gathering, that there's a lot of people, I guess, in the past where this clubhouse was utilized more often with either cards or, big, whatever. And we think that that's important to spearhead. We do know that some who have done it in the past will be leaving us soon for the winter, the snowbirds. So that's something that we do realize is important. We're gonna keep doing that. We're gonna open it up to the unit owners right now. We do have a unit. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sure. Sure.
As you probably all know, Myra Mills passed away this week. I want you to know that the morning of her passing, I was with her, and she was pretty much still mindfully focused. They came and got me, it was 9:30, and Myra was no longer able to talk. We held hands, we said a prayer. She was calm, she was collected, and she died very peacefully. She will be well missed. She was my good friend, but she was strong and she was courageous in this battle and how she went. She never said a word, she never complained, and I just wanted to share that with you, that she went peacefully.
So before we open it up to unit owners, we do have unit owner decorum. The board of directors recognize the value and importance of owners' fair and orderly comments. You must sign in to speak. We see that a few of you have done this. You must state your name and your unit number. Comments or questions must be addressed to the president. No one can address or question individual board members. It must be directed at the board as a whole. We speak as a single voice. If we do have a vote that is not, or a agenda item that it did not pass 5-1, and if it is a 3-2 or a 4-1, we all realize that once we walk out that door, we support the majority wherever that vote went, and we speak as one. So we will be addressed as one. No one can address or question individual board members, only the board as a whole. Discussion must be kept to issues considered by the board of directors and not individual board members. No disparaging Remarks, heckling, outbursts, or attacks about the board of directors or unit owners and their motives will be allowed. The president may interrupt, warn, or terminate a person's statement when the statement is too lengthy, personally directed, abusive, obscene, or irrelevant. To be clear, the board will treat you with respect. In return, expect everyone here to do the same. I will keep this meeting professional and orderly. With that being said, does anybody have anything that they'd like to bring up to the board?
Yeah, I did sign.
Okay.
No, I'm leaving.
Oh, he's gonna say.
On Carroll Court 414, and I intended to attend the cookout. I'm sorry I missed it, but several people had parties for my husband and I. We celebrated our 50th wedding anniversary.
Wow,
that's
great.
So,
Thanks,
sorry. That's the same person, right? So I'm glad everyone had a good time. I'm bringing up, this was something that the board posted after you did your walkthrough with the police and the fire department. It's the 5th bullet. The board asked about the lights facing the building and light up a few bricks. The lights are a crime deterrent and should remain on. The board will have the maintenance person clean all light covers outside and in and replace with LED bulbs for cost savings. And I noticed that some of them were out, but I think you have addressed that. But that was what I wanted to bring up. Now, during the meeting, something else came up about the phones. You didn't mention the 911 phone. Do we have to pay for that, or that's free?
That's the elevator phone.
No,
the one
the
outside.
one out here by the swimming pool.
Oh.
You didn't mention that one. You mentioned the elevator and.
So I think it's tied into it's not a separate line. So it's tied into the elevator, which are both really just 911, because you
Right,
can't
that's right. You
dial
can't
out.
call from a Bible, and you only mentioned the two.
Yeah.
And you know,
But I guess there's one line with two, yeah.
I get a fanatic with the pool, so I
Yeah.
thought I would take that back. Thank
Yeah,
you.
no problem.
Do we have a testing schedule? I mean, do we like do a test 911 call?
The fire department
Okay,
comes in and does it.
okay, as long as it's done, I just
But we
don't wanna
probably
rely
should
on it at the
get
wrong
something when they do it, right? Because remember when we walked, they said they. Was there anybody else who signed here, Mr. Henry?
Yes. I think she signed in just thinking that she's in there, she said. Please, get over here.
She's gonna get ready.
I just wanted to pass this by you, I did it last time. Security cameras, two the front and the back. They said it was too expensive, I thought I'd bring it up again.
We are looking at it. In fact, we have an IT person here, and I even told him today, get on the Amazon account and put it in a shopping cart and we'll get it. But he's like, Cheryl, wait a minute.
We
gotta have a
quoted by a
DVR.
security company, yes, so,
Especially.
We are looking into it.
Okay, that is definite, and here's the other thing. There's 3 board members sitting here who has had packages stolen. I would not suggest
I have another one that just got stolen.
USPS, you can divert from here and you can go pick it up on 45th and Main Street. I don't-
UPS.
UPS, sorry, UPS.
Yeah, I think the USPS has to deliver
And
here.
USPS has to deliver here, but you can sign up online and they'll let you know when they're close. You can watch them, where they're at with the truck if you're here. And you can also get a text message or an email when it's delivered or when the day of, like. And then also with Amazon packages, if they're relatively small, you can deliver them to the Speedway gas station. They have a locker there, and it's called Sierra. And then all you do is you get an email with a code, and you just take your phone and you just put it up there, and the locker just pops open. I don't have anything coming here anymore, very, after what I've lost. So, and you lost a monitor.
I lost
Computer
a
monitor.
vacuum and bill and my grandson's there.
So, and I lost books for my daughter's college. They're useless. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So that's not something that.
I think that's the kind of place that we live in, but is it worth putting a sign up since not all 56 owners are here that they might.
It could be visitors too. You know, sometimes the packages aren't in the building, so it can be. other people? Is it necessarily residents?
I saw UPS the other day, they came to the front, I said, time out. In the back, by the mail, in the door. Is that gonna stop it? I don't know, but.
Oh, my package actually made it in the building before it disappeared, yeah.
Yeah,
I think that sign that says deliver to the rear exit should be right at the end of the driveway, not
On a
on
post,
the door.
we're gonna do it there, yeah,
Oh,
post,
Yeah,
slide another one there, chief,
Save them
Yeah.
time.
yeah. And then,
question.
so do we put some, I mean,
Is it
you're
worth
busy,
putting
but do you wanna look into just the pricing of it, what do you think? I mean, Costco even has all that, and they have them on sale, I can watch, cause I get that, and you get it too, right, through the HOA, we could send some stuff from there to theirs.
What are we asking? Sorry.
The cameras,
Oh.
I know my son purchased them, and it's a YouTube, or like
But
a
to have them
video
properly
of how to put
connected
them
to
up.
a
It's
DVR is
gorgeous.
gonna require wiring and stuff, that's why I was saying we need to do installation.
No, everything he did was wireless, but that's the problem,
Question.
wireless.
Still
If you put the sign out front, all deliveries to the rear will be like, rear. People driving by will see that.
No, on the packages are back.
But
Good
you
information.
can't-
But how about a doorbell? What's with the
We gotta
doorbell?
power it.
The doorbell?
Oh, that's it.
It's
Oh, I
gonna-
think they had that, no?
We
We
had
need to look, yeah, that's
AT&T,
true, how we did it to power.
And somebody
Let's get a
clipped
quote
some
and just see how much
wires,
it's gonna
I've got,
cost, whether it's worth
I've
the
been
hassle
busy
of
today,
us trying to
but
find
I'm
wires.
going
and-
You see on TV, they have the doorbell, and you can see, you can wonder after.
Oh, you can see what's going on.
You can see what's going on, you know, it's on.
Is that it? Nobody else has anything else? Are we done?
I think we're done.
Yeah.
Gavel us,
What's the time? We're done?
8:13.
This meeting's adjourned. Thank you everyone for coming.